we've understand through publications that there was $30 million worth of investment that was collected for this business venture to take place. With that being said, at what point did you know that you didn't have the whole collective 30 million, and why did you push forward to try to still make it work?
So it was widely reported that we had commitments of $30 million to get this league going to get through year one, which we did. And then we found out in April that, all right, we've got an investor now who has trouble. That trouble then trickled down to us. And to your point, yeah, our investors don't have a relationship with the athletes. We do.
Yes.
We have a relationship with the athletes. So that falls on us. We all know that. We all knew that when we found out. And it's why we ended up, certainly I can speak for myself, why it's like, okay, for a week, I'm not sleeping because I know that we've got to get this right. I know we have to turn this around. I know we've got a hard road ahead now. So the process with investing and capital raising, which is very difficult and very complex, is this happens. It happens to startups. It happened to us. And it's very difficult for us to deal with, but it's something you have to deal with. You can't give up at that point because you've already made commitments to other people. And so, in that position, for us, it was a matter of, okay, how do we move forward? Working with our existing investors, working with new investors on our board to figure out how we continue to move this forward. And because, when we started this, we had commitments that would allow us to follow a certain path, right? Where we're going to make a bold entrance to this sport. Not a small, sort of minimal change to the sport, but a bold change to the sport where we can treat athletes the way that they deserve to be treated. We can fly them first class. We can give them their own rooms. We can give them flighter plus ones, and we can market them and brand them at a level that they should be. It's always been, from my perspective, that in order for this sport to be accepted and believed to be a true professional sport, you have to start by treating the athletes like true professional athletes, on par with athletes from other sports. So, but that's a big investment. But our investors believe that as well. They were on board with that. So we went out there to make a bold change to the sport. And we were structured and funded to do that. But once you're in the middle of your season and you get this, news, it's really difficult in that moment to then shift and pivot and say, okay, we're going to change now, and we're no longer going to be able to have the same quality of broadcast. We're not going to be able to fly people first class. We're not going to be able to have the same sort of fan experience for our fans in person and our fans watching on television. It's too late to change. So we had to stay with all of those things that we had committed to, get through the season, and then and figure out from there how we move forward. So, it sucks that we're sitting here right now, in this situation, because the other part of this is that we had an amazing season, and we did some amazing things. We proved that there is value in this sport, and that if you put people, the best athletes in the world, together, and you wrap that with storytelling, and you present the sport in a way that that is modern and that engages fans, you will get people to watch this sport. And we did in numbers that are impressive and by any measure, and certainly when you look at them compared to other emerging sports leagues. And so that has gotten the attention of numerous investors and sponsors. And so that's one of the things that gives us confidence that we will be able to overcome this, and we will be able to continue this momentum that we've grown. But we've got to do that work, and that's a lot of work ahead that we've got to do. And at the core of that, at the center of that, is making sure that we get our athletes taken care of.
So, Mike, I did my own little research of trying to put some numbers together, because a lot of people are asking, where does $30 million go? You know what I mean? In that span of time. Now,
30 million would have gotten us through the season and gotten everything taken care of. But since we didn't get the 30 million, but we raised a significant amount of money, and I'm happy to tell you where it went. But yeah, we were structured in a way where we would have been able to get through our first season had we received the $30 million that was committed.
Yeah. So, and as I go down this list, correct me in any place that I'm wrong or I'm overshot. Prize money collectively over 3 meets, minus the long distance that you took out, looks out might be like 9 million, something around that phase. Racers fees going to be like 1,444,000. You're looking at talent, commentators, 300,000. That's just a guess. Venue fees can be like 240. Assuming it's 80K per venue. Overall fees could be like 4,320,000, roughly around there. And then spending money on marketing, that's probably $1 million estimate. Racers travels, accommodations, you're going to be around a high 800K. And then salary, 2 million in salary. That's going to put you about almost 20 million already. I don't think the audience realize like what comes with putting on a meet and how much you do have to spend when you do that. Do you feel like having someone like Winning Alliance, APL, and Silicon Valley as backers, and I don't know which one or if any of those are the ones that kind of pulled out or reneged and why they did, but do you find it stressful? You know what I mean? Knowing that you have this and you were the face that said, I can make a change in our sport, and then you had to cancel at the last minute. And now we're at that point where, what do you do next?
Yeah. So yes, to all of that. But going back, so it's more than that. Yeah, it's even more than that because you have to remember as well, we raised the money at the end of 2023. So not included in everything that you mentioned was all of 2024. We didn't start spending money that we raised when we got to Kingston, Jamaica for the first meet. So in order to get people excited about Grand Slam track, in order to actually build the whole thing, so we had salary for all of 2024, right? So we had salary for, all of the folks that we brought onto the team, many of who left from other professional leagues to come over and help build this, were very experienced. Who came over to help us build this. So we've got those salaries. We've got marketing to build up the league and build a brand. You've got legal and operating costs in order to actually, and consulting fees and all sorts of things to actually build this and go out and then negotiate television rights deals that we were able to do and go out and negotiate sponsorship deals and negotiate venue deals and to vet venues. And the venues actually are a little bit more expensive than you mentioned, but then there's also venue build out. Like, a lot of people looked at it and you guys probably did too. And, oh man, these venues look amazing. That cost a lot of money, but it's a good investment. It's an investment because the thing is that in order for this sport, and the reason we have interest right now from investors and new sponsors, major sponsors, and the reason why they're excited about Grand Slam track is because they saw the sport in a light that presented it in a way that they hadn't seen before. They saw it presented in a way that put the athletes on par with other professional athletes and other professional sports, and it created excitement. So I don't regret that, those costs they're significant. I don't regret that they are. But that cost is significant in order to actually make a bold step with the sport, create a new league from scratch. Those costs are significant. So they were.